In this is a step-by-step guide on how to start a vending machine business in 2026. I'm telling you, do not miss this one. Let's get straight into it. So, what vending is boring, but it is profitable. It still makes money. Think about it. All them vending machines you see in airports, in apartment complexes, in malls, in shopping centres, all these places, they wouldn't be there if they don't make money. Now, look, vending isn't just I get a machine and then I put my feet up and I'm sipping cocktails in the Bahamas or Hawaii. No, not for now at least, and especially not if you're a beginner. It can and it will become passive, but it happens later on, and people don't seem to understand that this still is a real business. And what it does create and what it does generate is real cash flow. Now, when you have real cash flow, it allows you to reinvest back into the business. And I like to compare this with property, because if you have one, two, three houses, it almost compounds, and you're earning rental income from this one, and this one. It's the same if you had three vending machines, right? If you have one, two, three, awful vending machines, but they make money, then you're still making money. Nice. But why should you actually trust me? Now, my name is Ero of Gusti. I run Simple Vending, and I've been doing this for 5.5 years now. And I've sort of got machines everywhere up and down the country at this point. I've spoken at different events. You can see I've got all different sorts of locations. I've got leisure buildings, I've got student accommodations, apartments, you name it. Now, you don't simply have to trust my word, because you can see all the testimonials that we have, and you can see these not only on my Instagram, but scattered throughout not only all our social platforms. Now, don't just take my word for it. Of course, we have loads of testimonials, which you can see everywhere, scattered through Instagram and all our social platforms, and essentially helping people actually start this business and create a real business. And this was able to do this in just 4 days and secure his first location. We have people like Connor, who worked with us for 2 months and actually got his first one, and now they're on to their second one. There's so many people, and we've created some really good stories on here. And if you want to be coached by myself on a one-to-one setting, which is going to guarantee that you don't make any mistakes, you obviously make money, and you can secure locations, and you can secure good locations, because of all we know that is the bread and butter of this whole vending machine world, then check the link below. It'll be attached. Hop on there and obviously just book in a call. Now, for me, what has vending allowed me to do? Vending has allowed me to travel, and that is what I wanted to do. I've been very privileged to have traveled to over 28 different countries. I know, lucky me. But I don't put it down to luck. I put it down to systems and knowing exactly how vending has helped me do this. Now, this is what winning actually looks like, right? Let's just take a little zoom out, because as you can see, I've highlighted 3 different pictures here. And you know what? If I can just move that bar, okay, we're staying with the black ink. Now, the first one is actually having machines, and having good reliable machines. Having machines that are not breaking down all the time. Having machines that are stable in terms of variety and product that you can put in them, and just overall having great looking machines too. We have a bit of a space in the business. Second thing is the most important, making that dosh. Everyone loves to make this money, and this is what vending machines allow you to do whilst you're not there. You don't have to actively be there. You don't have to go out there for it. Once you've put your vending machine in and it's stocked up and plugged in, as I like to say, you're making money. Now, the third thing is you don't want to be dealing with all the things that go wrong, because there is things that go wrong in any business, in any trade. There is stuff that go wrong, and machines break down eventually. There's TLC that happens. There's all these different bits, so you don't want to be dealing with this. So you want to have someone, or you want to have a team that you can call to, engineers, aka, that can come out and fix this lovely bit over here. Now, of course, that is what I do, like I mentioned, and you can hop on down below, or the one-to-one stuff. But let's go on and talk about the Simple Vending roadmap, because this is what is really going to unlock your knowledge to the next level. Now, look, if you're going to start this business, you need capital. This you need, without a doubt, you need some capital, because whatever you're going to start, if you don't have the money to invest in yourself, in your coaching, in your knowledge, and of course in a machine, then you can't really start, you can't start a business. So now that you have capital, let's move on to step 2 and step 3. Step 2, location acquisition. And step 3, machine selection. Now, these two intertwine, and that's why I've created this nice little squiggly line. Because what happens is your machine is dependent on what location you actually get. Now, what do I actually mean by this? I mean, if you get a power league, for example, or a leisure centre, let's say, you will most likely be supplying, or you'll see that drinks are selling a lot better than the snacks, which therefore you're going to be supplying them with a machine that just does the drinks aspect, right? Of course, you can do a combo machine in any location and have the best of both worlds, but the sort of ratio in them sort of locations is the 3-to-1, which means for every 4 sales, you're getting 3 drink sales and 1 snack sale. Of course, this varies. This is just from my own experience, but that is the sort of ratio that you're looking at any sort of leisure activity where people are sweating, gyms, etc., etc. Now, this also exists on the location. Oh, I've just gone over that. So as you can see, without actually acquiring a location first, which is the first big mistake that beginners do, you can't actually progress over here and get the machine. So let's say you've got your lovely location. Lovely. Now you've booked in and you've got your machine, you've got pricing for it, and you've got it. Amazing. This is number 3. Oh, number 4. Bad maths. Sorry. Number 4. This is what people don't understand. Product strategy. Because yes, you might have the right vending machine, you might have the right location, but if you're not putting in the right products, you're not going to make any sales, you're not going to make any money. Now, another very simple example, of course this might be a bit of common sense to you, but I have seen it happen, is, for example, you go to a gym and instead of the machine being filled with, protein shakes and Lucozades, Powerades, all the sort of energy drinks that you tend to find, they fill it up just with sugary junk. And of course nowadays you have the sort of like your Tenzins and your Trips and all these other energy drinks that have sort of come on and are more healthy than your Red Bulls and your Monsters and stuff. But as you can see, if you had just put loads of junk in there, for example like a Monster and a Red Bull, and didn't offer a healthy alternative, you're probably not going to make as many sales because, like I just said, loads of people like healthy stuff these days. Now, of course, these are the last 2 parts to the puzzle that are going to allow you to reconstruct this whole flywheel. Operations. This means how often are you going to be restocking? When are you going to be restocking? Who's going to be restocking? What sort of variety of stock are you going to be bringing? How much stock are you going to be bringing with you? Do you have somewhere to store your stock? All these things that you need to think about. Is there a flat surface when it comes to your location over here? Step 2. Is there a flat surface that you can actually just pop down and pop your wheelie bin through? Not wheelie bin, what's it called? So yeah, when it comes to having your location, is there a flat surface that you can smoothly get into? Do you have to go up the stairs? You have to think about all these different things, especially in this section and this section and this section and this section. Now, of course, when it comes to scaling, this is where we give you the blueprint to scale. How you're going to go just from that one little machine to actually having over 10 locations, 15 locations, because this is where you really see the scale of this business. This is where you see the money coming in every single month, and you're like, wow, just for restocking a few chocolate bars and some candies and some drinks, I'm making some good money. And this is where you want to be. Of course, when you're a beginner, and we guarantee that you will get your first location within obviously 90 days of working with us, that first location you're going to be over the moon with. But there's a little bit more to go into. Because you see, when you go into step 2 and you have your location acquisition, it's not just going in and saying, look, do you know what? I sell vending machines, or I place vending machines, and I'd love to put them in here. How does that sound? And then you have no KPIs, you have no metrics, you have nothing on their footfall, you don't know demographic, you don't know the competition around you, you just sort of gone in there, thought it was a good idea, pitched it to them and put your machine, and then you made no money. Because, like I said, the backbone of this business is based on the location. If you don't have a good location, and of course, I'm going to reiterate this one more time, this is what we teach one-to-one. You be working with myself, link below to jump on a quick call and see if I can actually help you. We only take 3 people in a month. If you don't have a good location, then there's no point. Now, when it comes to machine selection in number 3, sorry, that's a funky looking 3, what do you need to think about? You need to think about this. So, are you putting in a combo machine, and are you going to be selling snacks and drinks? Are you going to be selling only snacks, or are you going to be selling only drinks? Or is your location so big that you need 2 machines, and you'd rather just do a whole snack machine, and then add a whole drinks machine next to it, and essentially, is that going to bring you more business? Is that going to drive more business? Because people look at the drinks and they're like, don't fancy a drink, but I fancy a Kit Kat. Or don't fancy a Kit Kat, I fancy a little drink. So is that what is going to be the best for your location? Of course, this is what the combo provides, because when you don't have enough footfall for 2 machines, you can just put one of these in there. Now, the last thing that's come in recent years, I'd like to say, is smart or traditional vending. Now, smart, you've probably, if you haven't, if you're in this video and you're interested in vending, you've probably seen the haha vending machines. I know, not the best name, to be honest. And you've seen some of the sort of AI refrigerated vending machines. They just sort of have pre-authorization. They've got the credit card on them, pre-authorization. You tap your card, you open your machine, and then obviously you're good to go. And once you close that door, stuff gets whatever you take, the price gets deducted from your card. Now, of course, this is good, but you really need to think about your demographic here, because if someone freezes the card, there isn't currently anything that someone can do. So, in theory speaking, someone can open your door, freeze their card, and take all your stock and go. And I don't know about you, but we live in London. You might be watching this from anywhere in the UK. I've coached people from Newcastle, from Leeds, from Nottingham, everywhere up and down the UK. But in London, it is quite bad at the moment in terms of theft. Sainsbury's is even putting their chocolate bars in protected boxes. So that is definitely something to think about. Of course, traditional, it's sort of just the standard ones that you've seen everywhere. These are getting a little bit better as well. You've got touch screens on them now and stuff like that. But there's pros and cons, and I've gone into a video about it, so there's no need to do one, go in depth about it right this second. And then the last thing that you really need to think about is your product strategy, because like I mentioned earlier, if you don't have the right product strategy, it doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter where you place it, how many people are there, the demographic, or anything that we've spoken to, or spoken up to this point, it does not matter. Because you need to think about, are you going healthy or are you going unhealthy? Are you having a balance of both in there? Are you having, the best of both worlds? And then the big one, pricing. You have to think about your pricing. You need to know what the competition is pricing. Are you going to undercut the competition? Are you going to be providing convenience and therefore having some premium pricing when it comes to your vending machine, rather than sort of just discounting and trying to beat people on price? Because trying to beat people on price, I mean, look, it happens, but it's literally just a race to the bottom trying to beat someone on price. But of course, you're able to always be much cheaper than a calf, or if you have competition from another shop or a corner shop or whatever else it may be, or a Tesco's and whatever else, because you're not paying rent, rates, electricity bills, all of these other things. So when it comes to something like that, you have always got the upper hand here. Now, that is how you're going to be able to set up your vending machine business step by step. But it doesn't stop there, because look, do you want the hassle of getting it wrong, wasting time, money, and energy? You probably don't. So look, if you do want a semi-passive business from someone that's built this from the scratch, has taught others how to build it, and obviously without having all the stress, the headache, finding suppliers, all the contracts, the templates, we've got everything covered essentially. So like I said, one last time, pop down below, book a call. If you're interested, let's have a chat. Regardless, I like having a chat with anyone that watches my YouTube videos or any of my social media stuff. It's always good to speak to you guys. Other than that, it's been great having you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Sweet!